I am thankful to Metcor for inviting me to give a small lecture over here on the need of the hour. In the audience, some of my ex-colleagues and gurus are sitting, with whom I have learned, I can say basically the pipeline and its integrity, as well as the inspection, the line pipe, the coatings. I can definitely refer to Dr. Krishnan, guiding me throughout my career on line pipe and metallurgy, Mr. K.K. Tandon, guiding me on integrity and the materials part of it, Mr. Grover, with whom I was associated with respect to various inspection techniques, as well as coatings. He is maybe called Guru of EL in coatings, and of course Professor Khanna, with whom I have been associated with respect to various coating activities. I'm extremely pleased to be here. And integrity is the need of the hour. Recently, most of us would have seen about a year back, or to be precise, 9 to 10 months back, we had a pipeline failure leading to quite a casualties. That's the big one, which was basically led by corrosion. And integrity management, properly done, would have saved that. There is definitely emergent need for planners, the designers, the operators, the owners to come together to discuss these issues and take care in our country. Integrity management is a big subject. I've been to last year to Washington, D.C., where I saw that there is a lot of companies doing research on this activity. And this field has really grown. Somehow this field couldn't be captured in India. We should have started looking forward to this integrity management about 10 odd years back when our pipelines were getting old. Approximately we have 40,000 kilometers in our country, gas, oil, LPG and product pipelines, out of which about 1/3 are 25 plus years old. We recently celebrated with Oil India a golden jubilee of a pipeline, Narkatia-Barani, a couple of years back. I think that pipeline is about 53 years old now and still going strong. Of course, we have got a job where we are changing their pump stations, and the pipeline is intact. Integrity surveys has been carried out and found that it is coating as well as internally it is sound to flow for maybe another 30 years. World is growing at a pace of approximately 1.8 to 2% in energy requirements. Of course, major part of the demand is coming from the developing countries, India being one of them. Definitely in case we have to catch up the GDP numbers of 8 to 10% or even beyond 6%, we definitely need to have a lot of energy coming in. China has reached to quite a saturation, but India has a lot of demand to be done. And in our country, pipeline density is lagging, even compared to our neighbors like Pakistan. I think they are close to about 70,000 plus kilometers compared to our 40,000 large diameter, these pipelines. And there is a huge demand, but there are some constraints onto that. I remember when I used to be in the pipeline engineering department in 80s and 90s, we used to do maybe 500 to 1,000 kilometers a year, which in 90s went to 1,000 plus. 2000 onward, we started doing 1,000 to 3,000 kilometers a year. So real progress happened. I'm proud to say that as our company, we did design approximately 75% of the pipelines done in the country. And most of it is running perfectly. The onus now comes to the operators as well as the field owners, like the recent case of KG Basin. The input supplied to the pipelines owner was not a correct one, so led to a failure. We have constraints these days with respect to land acquisition. Last, I think most of us would be aware of 2 to 3 years, the complete progress is stuck into the system of land acquisitions and ROUs. Most of our pipelines are on drawing board only, not able to get executed because land is not available. Then we have clearances which are generally very difficult to take. These days, social issues don't allow us to take forward the pipeline construction in most of the places. People have become very educated. There is a loss of revenue for the landowners in case we are running in their fields. So maybe we have to think about the planning stage itself where we need to go very near to road, which may lead to safety concern and more of integrity management to take care of failures in the future. Then I am finding in country we are still lagging with the new technologies as well as the equipment also to construct. Certain places we are finding that micro tunneling is required. Certain places we find that automatic welding is required. The constraints with respect to these above what I talked are not allowing that to happen. The land is not available, the authorities don't approve it. And best would be to bring in leakage detection and risk mitigation, which again is a part of the integrity management. Everybody knows this is the best suitable method for transportation of fluids. Of course, gas, the only method of transportation in the country. Last year budget, we had an announcement of national grid of about 15,000 kilometers. On our drawing board itself, we have about 5,000 kilometers being done since last year, waiting for execution to happen. I think everybody is waiting for land bill to be passed by the parliament so that this becomes easy for us to get the approvals and then we can go through. %35% to 40% of the transportation of hydrocarbons happens through the pipelines in our country. The balance being done by railways and road. That puts a lot of strain onto our road network as well as railway network. So in case we have more number of pipelines, about a couple of years back we had a study where I think we were approximately 65,000 kilometers of railways compared to 30 or 35,000 kilometers of pipelines. So we definitely need to have much more pipelines coming in so that load on railways is reduced and they can move more towards other means of transportation. We need to have technological advancements also coming in where we need to have higher strength materials coming in so that robust technology is there, less corrosion is there, newer coating systems, right from external coating to internal coating, ultrasonic testing, micro tunneling. There is a good possibility of future pipelines coming in from strategic storages. Recently, as Engineers India Limited, we have finished 3 strategic storages in Visakhapatnam, Mangalore and Padur. They need huge quantity of crude to be brought in as well as basically to transportation to refineries in case of a distress requirements. Number of LNG terminals are also being planned in west and east coast which will also need gas transportation. On paper it is happening, but till I think land regulation bill is through and operators and owners feel confident that this will be laid, then only I think progress would happen. We have with us now presently, we are talking to Iran, we are talking to Qatar, we are talking to Turkmenistan, where from some pipelines, international pipelines would come in IPI or TAPI, which will lead to more gas requirement to be fed by these pipelines. Of course, there will be geopolitical issues which need to be sorted out before this comes in. We are also working on a deep offshore pipeline going up to a depth of approximately 3,500 meters deep, coming from Iran and Oman to India, Gujarat coast, about 1,200 to 1,300 kilometers long. And we are part of the team where international consultants are working together and financial stitching is happening. It's about 4 to 5 billion US dollars, which is likely to be put into that, which will take about 4 to 5 years to come in this, and certain geopolitical issues will be warded off because of going into the international waters. As our pipelines are aging, we need to have proper operation and maintenance requirements coming in with respect to integrity. Integrity management will lead to operational excellence and extended lifespan of our aging pipelines. Authorities like OSD, authorities like PNGRB has done a lot to bring in new codes as well as the new requirements to take care of the safety. I think we need to have further look at them, need to make it mandatory for certain pipelines to have regular and more vigorous look at integrity management and pigging part of it. Presently, I think we are a bit slack on that respect, where we say that every 3, 5, or maybe 10 years we need to take care of it. I think the need of the hour could be every year we need to do that. Safety starts right at the design stage, which we normally try to take care of it, but we need to pay a price for this. The safety and integrity both will start right from design, go into construction, and lead into operation part of it. I've gone through the agenda and the presentation schedule. Really nice topics are there. In case we are able to convert this discussion into some meaningful representation to government or maybe government bodies, like Mr. Datta is already here, maybe we can put forward to ASD to bring in more requirement of integrity management as well as to PNGRB to have more regular maintenance checks, which will lead to better integrity of our pipelines. I hope proceedings of this conference will clearly bring out experience of the people present here and give advantages to the pipeline industry. I once again extend warm welcome to all of you and thank the organizers to take care of the very apt requirement of integrity management in today's scenario. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Indeed, very inspiring words for you. May I now request Mr. M.C. Das, ED, HSC, ONG.